Hey everyone, we are here to present our solution for International Blockchain Olympiad OpenGovt. It's a hybrid blockchain based a government to government G2G e-governance system with fine-grained user access control. We are Leveor, an interdisciplinary team shaping the future of the decentralized Web3 ecosystem. This is Saad Akash, presenting with my teammates Tahlil, Shihan, Arifa, Mahmudul, and Nirav. So let's kick things off with the definition of e-governance. Gartner Group's definition says it's a continuous optimization of service delivery and governance, focusing on internal and external relationships. Now, e-governance has four major types. Number one is G2G, which enables seamless interaction among different government entities. Number two is G2B, which enables the business community to interact with the government by using e-governance tools. Then comes G2C, which defines how government takes care of its citizens. And last but not the least, there's G2E, where government provides services to its employees. OpenGovt addresses all of these e-governance types. The problem space we are addressing has quite a few emerging issues. We witnessed hundreds of billions of dollars being stolen from pandemic relief funds. The US Secret Service has over 900 active investigations as we speak. Quoting the assistant special agent in charge, he has never seen something like this in his 29 years of law enforcement career. According to the Labor Department, at least $89 billion could be distributed properly. So there's definitely a need for more efficient and secure systems for fund distribution. And we have seen other numerous reports of millions of dollars worth fraudulent funds. Now, if we shift our focus on procurement, 9.5 trillion USD gets spent every year by government worldwide, and 20 to 25% of national budget gets lost to corruption on an average. The total volume we are talking about is close to 4.2 trillion euro. As you can see, the total volume of public procurement is 29% of the world average expenses, and that too in 2013. On transparency, the OECD Foreign Bribery Report doesn't look hopeful either. More than half of all bribery is related to procurement contracts. This is the analysis backing that statistics I just shared. Hence, we propose OpenGovt, a G2G e-governance system on hybrid blockchain. This system consists of three core solution modules. 1. A procurement portal about tenders, Open Tender. 2. Public portal for employees, citizens and businesses, Open Digest. And 3. Supply chain portal for distribution visibility, Open Chain. Let's go one by one. Open Tender addresses 4 SDG goals by ensuring fair and even distribution on contract and bid winning. We are using KYC submodules for G2G and G2B auditing. We can use primitives such as Peterson commitment scheme and elliptic curve digital signature algorithm along with zero knowledge proof to accomplish a trustless system for handling refugee identity and services in situations like Rohingya crisis in Bangladesh or Russia-Ukraine war. Open Digest addresses corruption, certificate issuance and verification by leveraging trust over IP in a simple holder-issuer verifier model. This model helps to verify that citizens or employees are skilled and certified enough to participate in various services. Next up, we have OpenChain, which focuses on streamlining supply chain provenance. Now, since it uses zero knowledge proof, it helps businesses to prove that a business good was supplied properly to win public or investor trust. On the other hand, they get to keep this business data confidential and private from their competitors. It's a win-win for them. So to summarize, our solution modules aim to tackle these 5 SDG goals. This is what Open Tender looks like. Here, the businesses can view the public tender proposal submitted and ongoing all from one dashboard. They can search, filter, download and analyze all of the tenders that they have access or permission to view. Then we have our second module, Open Digest, the public portal where a citizen can navigate through comprehensive charts, visualizations, and etc. in a social media-like newsfeed. They can also explore advanced yet summarized charts that make more sense to them. Our third solution is Supply Chain and Distribution Visibility Open Chain. It offers a detailed, transparent view on how the funds are actually getting distributed, with untampered timestamps, audit verification status, QR code-based proof of transactions, all from one immutable blockchain data ground truth. This immutable data visibility combats the corruption that's blocking us to achieve 2030 agenda for sustainable development. We know that procurement has a lot of execution or steps like advertising, evaluation, approval, etc. And on that basis, we identified 6 core steps in e-procurement. And all of these steps directly align with open contracting data standards. From a user perspective, the existing e-governance systems are mostly long processes with little auditing visibility, where our proposed solution leverages blockchain to digitize, automate, and streamline the system to be untampered, immutable, and audited or verified. You may ask the important question now, why is blockchain even required? Well, few of its compelling properties are immutability and traceability, which accounts for transparency. It also ensures blocking fraudulent or unauthorized executions or transactions. And quite a few countries have already started taking initiatives to use blockchain in their e-procurement systems like Japan, the United States, Mexico, South Korea, and UAE. Whether it's federal government or its multilateral development bank, blockchain presents a compelling case for all of them. To navigate through the current state of the market, we need to measure e-governance systems. A similar metric to do that is EGDI, e-government development index. It's a composite measure of three important dimensions: online provisioning, telecom connectivity, and human capital. It's not designed to capture the whole picture, rather it proposes a comparative framework. We implement Z-score standardization for each component indicator where we consider the mean and the standard deviation of the population. If we look at the latest data from 2022, some governments from Africa, South Asia, and South America have improvements to make in their e-governance systems. If we compare them to world average, Europe leads EGDI in all possible fronts. The key partners of our proposed solution includes agencies, auditors, committees, development partners, and of course, citizens at its heart. In terms of competition, the existing countries that have considered and published plans to incorporate blockchain or DLT in their systems are Estonia, Russia, Ukraine, UAE, and others. While implementing OpenGovt, there are a few risks associated, such as training a mass amount of bidders, identify duplicated tender submissions, etc. For that, we have contingency plans, is to operate local training centers or to use rotating algorithm to avoid single group of suppliers being awarded repeatedly. Let's look at the technical architectures in brief now. Credentials issuance and certificate verification are one of the major parts of the solution. First, the legal entity registers issuer, then the issuer publishes its DID with public key in its blockchain. The credential gets verified and issued to the holder with issuer's digital signature. Then OpenGovt can verify the authenticity of the credentials with the public DIDs. The end-user application of OpenGovt consists of mobile app and web portal for all stakeholders. Its application layer contains the backend, API endpoint, and Explorer UIs. On the service layer, we are using Hyperledger Firefly Supernodes as an underlying DLT service between a company's existing systems. It automatically generates APIs which maps to the smart contracts on the blockchain. The Hyperledger Firefly is compatible with multiple DLT infrastructure, including Hyperledger Fabric, Quorum, and Besu. For on-chain storage, we are using Hyperledger and both private data storage that comes with Firefly node and the decentralized file storage with IPFS support out of the box. Hyperledger public chain stores the verifiable credentials and the stakeholders' public DIDs. The Aries agent stores and manages the credential and PK infrastructure. It uses Hyperledger Ursa for the cryptographic functionality and Indy on its blockchain side. To solve the blockchain trilemma, we are leveraging the power of pure proof of stake. For our solution, we have used two metrics to determine the level of decentralization. The Gini index determines how much decentralized the components of a system are. The value can be 0 to 1 inclusive, 0 being the most decentralized and 1 being the polar opposite. The other one is the minimum Nakamoto coefficient, which denotes how many entities need to be compromised to take control over the system. The higher the number, the better the system. This diagram gives an overview of how all types of stakeholders with identity nodes and networks come into play to form blockchain governance. There are three chains in our proposed solution. First is the public permission in the blockchain managing identity. Second is the global Hyperledger Besu chain with Firefly Supernode support for blockchain orchestration. And the third is the local Hyperledger Besu chain responsible for managing individual projects. The user interacts with the blockchain ecosystem with Aries Cloud Agent. Now let's discuss three types of governance in this context. In the membership governance, onboarding users only need to verify credentials issued by the issuers to their Hyperledger Aries agent. In business network governance, the solution adopts blockchain technology and other complementary privacy-enhancing technologies. Some of them are ZK-proof, SMPC, homomorphic encryption, etc. For technology infra governance, the identity DLT uses redundant Byzantine fault tolerance, which offers low latency finality. The Hyperledger Besu chain uses QBFT to achieve enterprise-grade scalable consensus solution. We are using blockchain plus ZK-proof to solve the privacy transparency dilemma. This diagram shows how ZK-proof construction and verification function. OpenGovt accrues both economic and social value. On economic, it inspires an increased participation, ensures no barrier entry, and on the social front, it promotes accountability as a social value like Bangladesh hosting 950k Rohingya. Here's a brief roadmap of our system where we aim to complete testing and initiate training to a test round by next fiscal year and roll out Firefly server deployments from 2024. After deployment, support team should be assembled for maintenance. To summarize, we talked about the problem, solution, marketing partners, competition and risk, architecture and governance, and its distributions. In the appendix, we also added a detailed financial model for cost and revenue analysis for a mock governance system setup. We started with the facts and assumptions and then laid out projections by fiscal years based on them. We also considered agencies, items, and associated costs. All of the 3 submodules with our landing page of OpenGovt are live on the web and ready for anyone to do a quick test run. Thank you for listening and feel free to reach us at contact@leveor.xyz.